E aí pessoal, beleza? Bom, hoje tô aqui para mais um vídeo da série de Genshin Impact. Vamos continuar, né? Se você quiser ver essa série desde o início, eu vou deixar um card aqui em cima. E, se puder, se inscrever no canal e ativar o sininho, ajuda demais. Beleza, pessoal? Seguinte, no vídeo passado iniciamos essa missão aqui, que é da Chlorinde, né? E terminei ela exatamente aqui, nesta frase aí, certo? Vamos continuar então, tá bom? Eu terminei de gravar o vídeo 1 minuto atrás aqui, né? Então, para não cortar a missão no meio, já estou gravando a sequência, beleza? Vamos seguir então. Estamos fazendo a missão da Chlorinde, onde estamos tentando resolver um problema na cidade, que tem monstros e feiticeiros, né? Vamos tentar resolver esse problema aí, tá bom? Aqui é a Paimon falando, vamos dar uma olhada, como aquele cara da comissão disse. Estamos fora da cidade, procurando os monstros, né? Aí tem um guarda.
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Just one look, and you can tell, although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat dripping down his forehead make it obvious that he's been wounded. I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier, so I'll only ask this once. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of a—
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
Have you ever heard of the Marchese Hunt?
Marachose hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? What do you expect?
Eu gostaria de fazer uma verificação de medicina para ver se consigo ajudar ele. Sim. Use a medicina para diagnosticar a ferida. Isso. Ah, garoto. Eu não sei se o jogo sempre vai dar a vitória por ser a missão da Chlorinde, mas vencer mais uma.
Using your knowledge of medicine, you're able to deduce that the injury on his calf was a monster's doing, and the wound has already begun to fester. As you check him over, he looks at you.
I'm a doctor by trade. Please, let me redress your wound. You don't have to suffer like this.
Olha aí, rapaz. Fala de mim, hein? Que isso, hein?
The man appears somewhat disgruntled at having been exposed, but soon relents. He allows you to apply a poultice of specialized medicine to the wound, and it appears to bring him much relief. The tension— Oh, right. Guess you lot might actually be real Marachose hunters after all. In any case, you've successfully treated my—
Do you know where we can find the monsters, or the other guards who are fighting them?
He informs you of the various locations where monsters have appeared. He looks in that general direction with a pained gaze, as if a thin, invisible thread— Some of our new recruits have never even dealt with a petty thief, and now they're out there fighting monsters. If it weren't for this—
Oh, please, sir. Don't get too worked up. You need to focus on your recovery. Just—
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope flashes in his eyes. But it disappears almost— Those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist on going, I won't stop you either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive. I wish you the best of luck.
É nóis. Bora lá.
Based on what the captain said, the monsters should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
Eita. Olha as
This
garras.
is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you, and downed trees riddled with terrifying— All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just took place.
be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just another meal for them to devour.
A little help here! This thing wants to eat Paimon!
Your battle round begins now.
Deu ruim. Tá. Pior que eu não conheço. Eu sei. Eu já usei esse personagem, mas não sei exatamente o que fazem, não. Manda esse tiro aí, velho.
With rocks. Hey there!
And voila!
Usa tudo aí. Eu já testei ele, mas eu esqueço o que faz, né?
Let my name echo in song!
The next battle round begins now.
Eita. Olha, de Caçador. Quanto tempo que eu não usava esse golpe? Quem dá escudo aqui? Não sei. Partiu a bomba? Boom. Boa.
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating.
Ugh, thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
I never knew the photometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky, isn't it just...
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate is what gives these games
Oh.
their appeal.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
Baú enterrado.
A suspicious lump. Wait, could it be the thing that...
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it.
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. It was previously with the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery. Poking out of the...
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
Bora. Vai dar habilidade extra pra nós, será? Pode ser.
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wooden chest, even without opening it. You can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must contain quite the...
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it and we can share what's inside.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need...
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters.
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought since we were the ones to dig it up, we could just...
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future,
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marashose hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally? They might get
Foi
even
mal.
more suspicious of us.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food? Then we'll be ready to fight even more.
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we call it a day for now?
Wow, where did the time go?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all or because the story is particularly enticing, but I feel like I could almost...
Here, here. Ooh, how about we play
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home to...
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Huh? Another location?
Mm-hmm. There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next part of the script.
Whoa! They really pulled out all the stops for this new script.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Cloran finish her story, right? Paimon wants to hear.
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts
Ay,
before
ay,
we
ay.
bring...
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy. And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Cloran's
Well...
Se a história não tiver um final feliz, está tudo bem em não terminar ela.
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's... My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some time before that.
What a heavy beginning for a life story.
Master was a fascinating individual. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there and casually... See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this wound."
Excuse me for asking this, Cloran, but how old were you exactly when all this...
Probably around, 3, give
Oh,
or take.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what they're capable of.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a Geovishap hatchling.
A Geovishap hatchling? For a pet? That seems even...
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight.
And how old were you when...
5.
Enfim,
Well,
No, I lost.
So, you're saying you actually became the Geovishap's pet?
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat.
that really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a marechaussee hunter, but I never heard her bring up her own parents. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year after. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That was also how I met Mr. Callis and his family.
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Ms. Petronia the whole time.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time, so I didn't know how to interact with...
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think many members of the Spina ever beat you in one of those.
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh, do you remember that one time we went exploring around the Spina together? We overheard Papa call your master. We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip that one time.
Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago? The one...
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until,
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports.
my...
Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to do with it. And anyway, everything. Although, calling herself the protector of order was a bit much.
Huh? When did the protector of justice become the protector of order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever she was asked. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just two. The protector of justice.
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the two she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual. With her strong sense of justice, it's no surprise her student followed in her footsteps.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone powerful, independent, and with a strong sense of
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When I returned home on my own, when she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts. But he only shook his...
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they never found any credible leads.
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. If I had to guess, I'd say she probably used it as an opportunity. Just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, the mother willingly leaves them behind.
Or...
I was at first, but not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear for no reason.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine. You're practically a living...
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased. But you're right. I suppose I do take after her in some ways.
Who knew Clorand had such an interesting past? I wonder... If Clorand's master were the champion duelist back then... Would that... Oh no... Judging by the atmosphere, Clorand and Navia are probably thinking something similar.
Well, anyway... would you look at the time? It's getting dark, so we should probably call it a day for real this...
I had a great time today, Miss Clorand. Thank you.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, your childhood stories... Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-Bishop sometime. Maybe your master was onto...
You could...
What does she mean, onto something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I want to continue.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
Tá, então agora o jogo deve pedir pra gente ir pra outro lugar, né? Eita. Entramos no lugar ali.
Looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important decision to...
Is that really the most important part, though, Clorand? Have you all's cold railings, dim lights? This is obviously
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has...
So the set is going to be a...
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither confirm nor deny.
Anyone think Clorand's smile is starting to look kinda... scared?
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But first, we should really figure out what to do with this. If we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name? Just like...
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile. As long as we're helping people, it doesn't matter who we are or what we're...
Staring at me won't get you anywhere. Or did you want some more tea?
Oh, Paimon's good. Why aren't you saying anything, Navia? Wait, what's that next to you?
Oh, this is the short sword Cloran mentioned last night. I found it.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to track it down after.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave it to me. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could dig a tunnel, or try to bribe—
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet, have we?
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you should always have an umbrella on hand, even when it's sunny.
All right, Paimon's made up her mind. Let's just give the treasure away. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
É, Paimon tá ligado nos lanchinhos.
So, you reached an agreement? All right then.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in hand.
Vamos lá.
The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere. But your spirits are surprising. In places where sunlight struggles to reach, you generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly.
Thank you, kind soul.
The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you move entirely out of sight.
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to hurry up so we can address—
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy. I'm sure he knows the people here far better.
Oh, good idea!
Just as you start to make way to the square, intent on finding the man again, there's a voice.
Algo parece estar prestes a acontecer. Ué, mas... Enfim. O jogo fez a gente ganhar, né? De propósito, porque
Please wait, distinguished
não apareceu
guests.
nenhum número ali em cima. E aí, pessoalzinho?
Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed to politely pay their respects.
Greetings, gentlemen. Are we being invited for afternoon tea?
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests to meet with you.
Vamos falar com o rei. Que isso? Quem será o rei? Quem será?
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting the king himself would be a fantastic opportunity.
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just turn the whole place—
That sounds
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. They lead you all the way to the gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks. The items appear quite ordinary in size and dimension.
Wow, it's so luxurious!
E o povo tá ferrado. E o cara aqui do luxo.
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, sits upon. He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the very front. As you observe it, you see a complex pattern of light reflect off its surface.
Ela tá de olho na comida. Enfim.
They're here, your majesty. A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends down to— After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze shifts to fixate on your group.
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though.
The king remains still and says nothing. Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself quite exhausted from work. I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability with the sword to repel the monsters near the capital. Such a great deed deserves to be rewarded. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive me for seeking to verify the truth by speaking to you myself.
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? So we'll just explain what happened. The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe. It took a lot of effort to... Well, there was enough details, right?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters, that must mean you are also in possession of the treasure they stole.
Cara, doei pro povo.
Well, we did take the...
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you return it at once.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward? Shouldn't the treasure be considered a part?
Yes, that was indeed what I said. But you seemed only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a kingdom without said permission, on the other hand.
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense! If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried underground somewhere!
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the court and without receiving permission. What, no answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legendary marechaussee hunters, sought to take...
Well, what about the king? Is he just gonna let this...
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving. He's...
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sorcerer? Or could both the king and the Prime Minister have
Faz sentido o que ela falou, hein?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed in the...
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready, each with a hand placed upon the hilt of their sword, as if...
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down, I guess.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill-intentioned imposters. What a pity. Guards, before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine whether you have any accomplices outside.
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe start some kind of riot?
But if we try to fight the guards right now...
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear. If you're scared, Paimon, just hold my hand.
A minha também.
Thanks, you guys.
You allow yourself to be led away by guards surrounding you on... It's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon ceiling and smell the stench of death and decay all around. Stay here and don't try anything funny. The guards lock the cell door and leave without looking back.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall, but the only response you receive...
No! Would you...
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course. I draw...
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards locked you in...
What about that knife I hid in my boot?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you in...
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell door.
Well, there...
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? But that's a terrible ending!
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint, or gives the GM some kind of code for how to move forward.
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison? Like, they'll only show us the way out once we've grown truly and utterly desperate?
That is a...
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison. Oh, wait, guess it's kind of how the Fortress of Meripede works if you're lucky.
Oh, before I forget. Navia, the short sword you had with you earlier, I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly, that style was...
Wait, Cloran said that sword used to belong to her master, right? Does that mean...
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything. I'd say the sword was most likely an heirloom passed down over time.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master. And you gave it to me?
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of junk she probably just didn't. I gave you the sword back then, because I didn't want our friendship to end.
Wait, when did this happen exactly?
After the duel.
Before that, Clorand would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. She was on great terms with Pop after the duel, though. There was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. We were both sad and conflicted and totally overthinking. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder if Miss Petronia had never introduced us to each other at that picnic. Maybe part of the sadness I was feeling back then, it felt like I hadn't just lost a father, but a...
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you two found your way back to each other and can enjoy things like this together.
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry, you two. I didn't mean to break...
Think nothing of it.
Alguém veio ajudar.
Looks like the next part of our script is here.
Perfect timing. The situation was really starting to get...
From Claren's face, Paimon really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Manter uma cara sem expressão realmente requer habilidade.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless dungeon, you lack a reliable way to tell how much... Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the door.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Fale com a pessoa do lado de fora da cela.
Who are you?
Você é um dos guardas que a gente encontrou lá fora?
My true identity is the same as your own. I'm also a Marashose hunter.
Eita.
Shh. I've already sent away the other guards, but if we...
I understand, but how can we be sure we can trust you?
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise. If you want...
Executed? We barely...
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure. Could this entire...
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to prove that to you just yet. Infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I think we can all agree that now is not the time for details.
Não parece que temos muita
Have
escolha.
you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat the true enemy. His faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed a number of golems in various rooms throughout the... To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marashose hunters of the past left behind a treasure with the power to defeat the sword.
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my best to distract them so they don't go after. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you when the final battle comes.
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. I will do my utmost. As for the location of the vault, here.
Tá.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making any noise. I'll lead you out of here as quickly as possible. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Mara Shosei hunters. So please, get out and be sure to exercise caution.
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons. Your sense of despair and anxiety both seem to fade.
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks suspicious.
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order then. Plus, if all else...
Boom.
Wow, you really meant that!
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water, its surface shimmering a brim.
Well, guess this means it's time for...
Continue avançando. Vamos ver.
Oh, what's the matter?
It's nothing. As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an eerily quiet space. Before you lies a narrow passageway that appears to trail off endlessly in...
Wow, this must be where the treasure is hidden!
But this door is blocking our way in. Huh. It almost looks like it's been here for quite some time.
Huh. What have we got down here? A kind of mechanism.
A pattern on a stone door. That's something Master mentioned before.
Is something wrong,
After a long, difficult journey, you finally arrive at the location indicated by your map. It appears to be... Your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene, as if the secret that slumbers here has never once been disturbed. If you listen closely...
That description makes Paimon feel...
We're doing this for the sake of the people, to free them from the evil sorcerer. I say it's time for this treasure to what?
Lenny's right. We need to keep going. The next part of the story requires us to solve the puzzle, right?
Yes, that... Something feels off about all this.
Investigue por pistas. No chão tem o símbolo também.
It worked!
Something just appeared. Some kind of new mechanism, maybe?
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourselves worthy of... At the end of each puzzle, you're rewarded with...
With?
a key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
Huh? This is one of the Marashosei Hunter keys that are passed down from generation to generation. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key. And it seems like we just collected 3.
Huh? What's...
You hear a few strange noises. Suddenly, all the torches in the ruin go out at...
What's going on? Did we...
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone. Without the torches, the space is now completely dark.
But Paimon can still see a little bit over here.
Fecha o olho, pai.
Oh, right, sorry.
Suddenly, you hear the sound...
There's someone else here?
I've been discovered then.
Wait, That voice, it...
You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for himself.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything, that means we can't fight to the fullest of our abilities.
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a real marechaussee hunter. But this isn't part of the script.
Retreat! That's not the hunter way. If it's dark for us, then it's dark for him. We choose to fight.
É que ele não faz parte do roteiro, né? Então ele vai ter com o olho aberto.
Your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed until I tell you the torches have...
You got it!
Well then, let us...
Ele vai ter com o olho aberto. Pelo menos é ela que vai lutar.
Load it.
E ela? Você é louco, é?
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
Is he still standing? Goodness, he sure has a lot of heat.
Is it over? Can we open our eyes now?
The enemy is strong and relentless, but the battle is nearing its end. The torches have...
What about now?
Final strike. Ha!
E morreu.
Oh, well, did we get him?
Por que ela não tá respondendo?
Glorian?
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear.
Esse cara não fazia parte do roteiro. E ela fez fazer.
In an impressive display of courage, the four of you successfully defeat that look in his eyes. It's like he became an entirely different person as soon as I defeated.
Huh? Mr. Florian? Oh, wait. We're supposed to be role-playing. I should stay in character. Speak your name, guard. Why did you lead us here just to betray us? Is this treasure really more important to you than bringing peace to the kingdom?
What kingdom? What peace? I, Florian, am a true marechaussee hunter, descended from hunters of ages past.
So he's also using his real name. Or, wait, was that the name of his character from the very
Ele não vai para a história.
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a marechaussee hunter, shouldn't you want to help us just like you said before? Shouldn't we fight together for the sake of the people?
What do you know? In this day and age, there's no glory to be had.
What's that supposed to mean?
My skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the remote wilderness. Still, he devoted, and what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain, in a world that forgot all about him. When he died, not a the marechaussee hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes. We deserved more recognition and respect than—
Is he talking about how no one in the capital seems to remember the hunters and their legacy? I didn't expect the script to contain—
So that's why you want to take the treasure for yourself? You feel like you're owed fame?
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you just come down here and take it?
Because I still needed the final key.
Only a true marechaussee hunter is capable of passing through this final door. As someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain, Florian lost that right.
Okay, but what is this treasure anyway? We've got all the keys, right?
You're sure you want to go in?
We've been talking about it for so long. Of course we want to see what's inside.
And we've already defeated Florian, right? So he won't try to take it from us anymore.
Pesky brats.
Eles estão pensando que ele vai para a história e ele é um personagem real, tá ligado? Ele chegou ali do nada. Aí a Chloride teve que dar um jeito nele pra ele não atrapalhar a história. Enfim.
Watch yourself.
É, fique quieta aí, cara. Não atrapalha a brincadeira, não.
Then let's open the door together.
All right.
Chloride anda até a porta e pega as chaves. Sem ninguém perceber, ela pegou a sua própria chave e juntou com a dos outros. Tá aí.
Before you, the door to the treasure sealed and undisturbed from... You hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse. Almost like a sleeping giant letting out an
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too!
Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most exciting part of adventuring.
A stone tablet? And
You call this a treasure vault? Looks more like an abandoned...
maybe the troop ran out of budget at the end?
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning only to drop the ball at the most important part? They could have at least filled this place with cardboard mora or something.
Wait, I get it now. Paimon, this is the...
Huh?
This is it? The Marashose Hunter treasure is just a stone slab.
Ih, rapaz.
Whoa, are you okay?
The Marashose hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. He needs to... One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of you wish to follow suit...
Fale com Florian.
So, how are you doing?
What just...
Do you remember how you got here? Or what happened to your body just now?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to...
You mean these?
Huh? How did you...
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out.
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again. Guess
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic enough to convince...
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. Something agitated and angry. Who knows? The feelings about my father and the other Marashose hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry, bitter that no one remembered them or praised their accomplishments. I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to completely consume me. At that point, I remembered the legend my father used to...
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives? Wouldn't they just destroy the treasure and bury you along with it?
I can't remember. My head is a mess. It felt like...
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a devorator.
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean, never talked about it? It was a...
No, I've heard of it. I'm just not sure why you suddenly... Wait, it can't be. The seal!
The seal?
My family has served as Marashose hunters for many generations. But the title and swordsman, my father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain it regularly. He said it had been passed down over a truly ancient age, and protecting it was our clan's most important duty. But I neglected that duty after he died. I finally decided to come down and check on it one day, and that's where my memories become fuzzy.
The devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being. Even if you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption. In light of this, some Marashose hunters chose to seal the devorator.
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts, to the point where they overtake you entirely. It would seem I'm not just lacking in skill with a blade, but...
And yet, you were able to retrieve 3 of the 4 keys. If I remember correctly, each was entrusted to a respect...
One of them belonged to my father. The second I stole from a different hunter. And the third...
Ladrãozinho.
I know just how strong you are. It's as clear as day to everyone in Fontaine. I observed you from dusk to dawn, but could never find any opportunity to sneak up on you. The only way I could think to obtain that last key was to lure you here using your hobby, and then... Oh, I get it now.
I won't comment on anything else.
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me, about the glory of the heroic Marechaussee hunters and how they came to be forgotten.
Ou seja, toda a história foi bolada para que ele conseguisse atrair a Chlorine para esse lugar aqui. Esse que era o guarda, né?
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter. You're still holding onto that part of yourself, no matter how small.
I have done so many despicable things. I have nothing to be.
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer in your story. Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who sought nothing but his own gain and used the people as pawns to attain it? In your heart of hearts...
But I've already tainted my sword. I no longer...
Wake up, Florian. Remember how you introduced yourself? Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be loved and acknowledged by the people? What did your father teach you about our order? You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. There's nothing special about a blade. Do you still not understand? Even after seeing the treasure for yourself? The contents of that room.
You're right. I am a Marechaussee hunter.
I wouldn't be so quick to push aside the...
I know. That's a charge I won't bother to defend myself.
Good. Then, come with me. And help me see the script through...
Huh? See the script through to the end?
Never finished it, huh?
No, I mean, I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring you all here.
É isso aí.
There was no reason to write beyond this point.
Temos que inventar final agora. Verdade é
Then
essa.
we'll just have to keep writing it. The evil sorcerer still...
You mean the Devorator? Are you saying I have to make up the rest?
Is that really so hard? You've already written most of it. Surely you can write an ending where the hunters win and justice prevail.
You aren't afraid your party will fall in?
I know what my friends are capable of, and they're all quite skilled.
Then, are you going to tell them the truth about all that?
I don't intend to spoil the fun. Sometimes protecting dreams...
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow Marechaussee hunters, please forgive me, for I have...
Tone it down.
Sorry. After crossing swords with you and witnessing your courage in battle, I've rediscovered my true self and regained my...
Oh, do I smell or...
I confess, I was brainwashed by the evil sorcerer. He asked me to lure you here so he could bury you in this cave.
That little... Wait, you're saying all of that wasn't you, but the evil sorcerer?
That's right. He's adept at manipulating the hearts and minds of the people. I fell under his influence because I did not possess a strong enough set...
And how are you going to prove that you're a changed man?
To be perfectly honest, I only came to my senses after seeing the treasure. The treasure was actually...
The names of all the Marechaussee hunters from ages past and their weapons?
Wait, you...
Of course. Don't underestimate a veteran role player's exploration skills. Oh, wait, I mean,
We just finished reading through the content of the stone tablet.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating people. For example, she inherited the responsibilities of the Golden Hunter and passed judgment on many people. But in private, she had a very easygoing...
So, she was just like...
Oh, you really think so?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose I also have a few things in common. Working as
Wow,
an
kid.
executioner, he supposedly used a countless number of tricks to confound his enemies in battle. Oh, if only I could have seen the feats of...
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments. How could...
Because they chose to be. To hunt monsters that only appear in the shadows, you must also operate in the dark. To be a Marechaussee hunter is to willingly give up.
Then this stone tablet must have been left behind by their companions.
That's right. Few Marechaussee hunters ever revealed their identity to the public. They always protected the only time they spoke of their accomplishments would be at night, when they gathered with their fellow hunters in front of the bonfire to share.
So, this tablet was created not so that the hunters would be remembered by the people.
No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the stone tablet in solemn silence. The names of your comrades etched onto its surface serve as a reminder that you are never truly alone. The tablet proves that, although a hunter walks a shrouded path, it is not a solitary one. Their legacies shall continue to be passed down from generation to generation, as everlasting as the stone onto which their names are carved.
Father, you once told me that I should seek out the treasure if I ever became lost. So this...
Decidi confiar em você.
Thank you, my friend. You are very... I implore you, everyone. Please give me a chance to make up for all I've done. Allow me to fight alongside you.
Well, I say we let you join.
Sounds good to me too. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters...
I have no objections, but... Mr. Florian, do you even know how to...
When he took over my mind, I gained some insight into his thoughts. Every time I thought of the treasure, he reacted with a strong sense of fear.
Huh? He's afraid of the treasure? But there's nothing...
What if the secret's hidden in a GM?
Tá, foi ela que escolheu, ok. Ela escolheu, era a vez dela, né?
At first glance, the
Agora
weapons
entendi,
appear
galera.
absolutely ordinary. But as you observe them, you notice a faint energy emanating from within.
Aquelas horas que eu não escolhi a carta é porque não era eu escolhendo, era a Návia, né? E a Návia escolheu jogar no modo fácil, né? Aí ela sempre ganhava. Então era isso. As armas parecem absolutamente comuns, mas quando você as observa, percebe que é uma energia fraca.
These blades have slain countless monsters. Though it's been a long time since they were used in battle, their edges remain sharp, as if they're simply waiting for the next...
So basically, take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to Est.
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick a cool weapon too!
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through your being. It's a feeling of courage,
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find the evil sorcerer?
I was able to see his surroundings when our minds were connected. I believe he's currently hiding out at the church. We must be extremely careful. He's spent so long living among monsters that he's now taken the form of one. He will not be easily defeated.
Then why don't we explore some more and try to find some higher level gear? We don't want to just fight him and lose, right?
No, we have to strike now. He was greatly weakened when I managed to break out of his control. If we let him
I agree with Mr. Florian. We've got to act while we have the advantage. Don't forget, the people...
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no point in waiting. The longer this...
Yes, that's what's called...
Tomar iniciativa.
That's exactly...
Alright, you've persuaded Paimon.
Mr. Florian, please, lead the...
Of course. Follow me.
Vamos lá.
He had
Inventa aí,
set
cara, se
so
vira.
many scenes today, and now he has to join in for this last part.
Finally, you decide to slay the... As you walk away, you feel the gaze of the stone tablet at your back, as if all the hunters of the past are wishing you success in the battle ahead, and await...
Próximo vídeo a gente termina, tá bom? Acabou que era uma história. Era um jogo que depois se tornou real do nada, que o cara chegou lá. Na verdade o cara fez ser um jogo, né? Que ele que inventou a história para poder atrair a Chlorine lá para aquele lugar e abrir a porta lá e tudo mais, né? Mas vou deixar o final pro próximo vídeo, tá bom?
May the glory of
É isso. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Se puder, deixar o like, muito obrigado. E até o próximo vídeo aí.